I mean, for me, Dmitry won that fight, and we need to try and put it right. But Beterbiev's a great fighter, and I think the rematch would be an epic event.
I believe in the first fight, Bivol won. I think this fight, I think Bivol can win again. He's a little bit faster. He has more movement, and Beterbiev, he hits hard, and he's probably waiting for that big shot.
The most anticipated rematch between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev is almost here, and boxing legends have shared their verdicts on the rematch. Frank Warren expressed his enthusiasm for the upcoming rematch, calling it a thrilling showdown between two of the top light heavyweights globally. He reflected on their first fight, emphasizing the exceptional display of skill from both competitors. Warren conveyed his confidence that the rematch would be equally exciting and highly awaited, guaranteeing another intense and skillful contest for fans to witness.
Well, it's a great fight. The two best two light heavyweights in the world. Last time round, it was an excellent fight. They displayed all their skills. It's a rematch. That's going to be a great fight.
Callum Smith feels that the rematch between Bivol and Beterbiev will mirror their initial encounter. He expects there will be periods where Beterbiev's relentless pressure will be difficult for Bivol to withstand, but also times when Bivol's technical skill and sharpness will stand out. Smith notes that the first fight displayed both aspects, with Bivol finding success through his boxing ability. However, Smith has some concerns about Beterbiev's age, given that he just turned 40 and recently endured a grueling bout, possibly the toughest of his career. Smith wonders how much more Beterbiev's body can endure at this stage of his career.
I think it'll be very similar to the first fight. I think there'll be parts where Beterbiev's pressure is a little bit too much, and there'll be parts where Bivol's boxing ability and sharpness is having a lot of success, which I think we've seen both times in the first fight. I don't know, it's the age question again. Beterbiev was 40 a few weeks ago, and that was a tough fight, probably the toughest one of his career, and how much can your body...
Smith believes that the longer they delay the fight, the fresher Bivol will be, which could work in his favor. He predicts that Bivol will be able to endure Beterbiev's intense pressure as the fight progresses, making it a very close matchup. In the end, Smith leans towards Bivol, thinking that his freshness will give him the upper hand in a tight and competitive contest.
Take at that age, and I don't know, I just think the longer we're waiting to fight, Bivol's that little bit fresher. I think he might have a little bit more success and be able to weather the storm late on, and I think it'll be a very, very close fight, but I'm just leaning towards Bivol being that little bit fresher.
Billy Diniz shared his view on the first fight, believing that Beterbiev held a slight advantage, leading by 2 or 3 rounds early on. With a close perspective of the action, Diniz noticed that while Bivol tried to land combinations towards the end of the rounds, Beterbiev effectively avoided them and controlled the pace of the fight. He highlighted Beterbiev's relentless pressure and powerful punches as crucial factors. Diniz feels that for Bivol to have a chance in the rematch, he must be more proactive and stand his ground. He anticipates that Beterbiev will secure a knockout this time.
Yeah, definitely, you have to fight with Beterbiev. If you can't box him, you've got to be very fit and very, very clever to outbox someone like that. The pressure, the cutting the ring off, he doesn't, all this and that. You've got to be very clever and very fit, because I've been there, sparred him, he does not stop, the pace doesn't slow down. So you've got to stand there and give him something to think, oh, I can't come forward. You need to give him something like that. And I think Bivol's going to try and do that, and that's why he's going to get caught in the crossfire, and then that's why it's going to be night-night.
Furthermore, Callum Smith believes the first fight was close enough that it could have gone either way. He feels Bivol has the potential to perform better this time, especially now that he knows he can withstand Beterbiev's power. Smith pointed out that rematches often bring small adjustments in strategy, so both fighters could come back with refinements. Ultimately, it will depend on who adapts more effectively, making the rematch both unpredictable and exciting.
What do you think? So for today, I think it'll be similar, because I don't think anyone could have argued with the first fight if it went either way, and I think you might see a similar close. I think they're just very evenly matched. I think it could be hard to pick.
Do you think Bivol could perform better than he did in the first fight?
I don't know, because I thought he boxed very well early on. I don't know, maybe he obviously believed he could take the power, but I think now he knows he can. I don't know whether he was hurt and never really showed much, but I don't know, I think both will probably take belief from the first fight, knowing he'd been there and done it, and I don't know, I think that's the good thing about rematches, it's who's going to better the game. I think we may see a better version of Bivol, but you may see a better version of Beterbiev as well, so it's a lot of the time rematches are like a blank slate again. You've got to both go away and rethink and come back with maybe slightly different tactics.
Roy Jones Jr. praised Beterbiev for his unique blend of strength and aggression, emphasizing his punching power as a key element of his success. He also lauded Beterbiev's ability to remain calm and collected in the ring, staying focused and composed without showing any emotion. Jones found this level of poise, paired with Beterbiev's ability to deliver powerful punches, to be especially impressive.
Mainly just his power. His power along with his aggression and with his subtle face. He never changes his expression, which is a beautiful thing.
Lonnie B predicted that Beterbiev would stop Bivol in their rematch, pointing out that Beterbiev was rushed back too quickly after surgery ahead of their first fight. He anticipated a change in strategy this time, with Beterbiev focusing on attacking Bivol's body early on. Lonnie B believed this approach would gradually wear Bivol down, leading to a stoppage in the 9th or 10th round. He stressed that beginning with body work would likely set up a late round finish for Beterbiev.
Well, then you obviously got Artur in the rematch, right? By stop.
Yeah, I got Artur.
Right?
And no excuses, but I think Artur came and fought too fast off that surgery. I think this fight he gonna stop. I think this fight he go to the body more. He gonna stop Bivol.
You think it will be early, or you think it's gonna be a long late round fight that Bivol?
I think like probably 9 or 10. If Artur start to the body in the first round, I think he'd get him out of there about 9 or 10.
Chris Algieri expressed his excitement about the upcoming fight card, calling it action-packed from beginning to end. He singled out the main event, acknowledging that although it might not match the intensity of their first encounter, it's still a highly significant clash. Algieri emphasized the importance of the fight for the light heavyweight rankings, overall standings, and pound-for-pound positions. He pointed out that with such high-level competition, it's a fight fans can't afford to miss, with major implications for the sport.
You got the main event, which, listen, compared to the last fight, obviously what we saw in the first fight, it's not going to be a gangbusters type fight, but it's a very important fight for the weight class, for the divisions, for the pound-for-pound rankings. So the level of that main event is humongous. But then you got a couple heavyweight bangers on there that can really steal the show in terms of being, action-packed.
Carl Froch, excited for the rematch, highlighted that only true boxing enthusiasts truly grasp the nuances of the first fight between Beterbiev and Bivol. Froch shared that he had Bivol leading on his scorecard, which only increased his anticipation for the upcoming bout.
Hey, people say that this fight never really caught fire, but for the purist and the people that understand boxing, that realise what they were watching, would have been on the edge of the seat, mesmerised by the skill level and the quality of both operators. Now, Bivol didn't get the decision. I thought he'd won when I watched it on the night. Beterbiev obviously won. He's unbeaten. Most of his fights have come by knockout. He went the distance with Bivol for the first time.
He also gave Bivol some guidance, advising him to maintain his focus in the later stages of the fight. Froch highlighted that Bivol didn't do enough in the last 3 rounds of their first bout, while Beterbiev continued to apply constant pressure. He reminded Bivol that judges tend to favor the fighter who finishes strong, which may have been a factor in his close loss during the first fight.
I think Bivol maybe needs to look a bit more interested, if that's fair, towards the end of the fight. Maybe around 10, 11 and 12, I think he needs to get more shots off, because he finished slow. Beterbiev put it on him a little bit more. It looked like he wanted to be in there a bit more. It looked like he was trying to win and trying to get that victory, and the judges do like that.
Anthony Yarde expressed his belief that Artur Beterbiev edged out the first fight, acknowledging that it was a tight contest that could have gone either way. While some felt the result was unjust, Yarde didn't view it as a robbery. Looking forward to a potential rematch, he anticipated another victory for Beterbiev, but hinted that focusing more on body shots could cause greater damage this time.
I do think Beterbiev won the first fight. It was a close fight. People will start saying stuff about robbery. I don't know about all that. It was a very, very close fight. Could have went either way. And the second fight, I see Beterbiev winning again, if I'm honest. But this time, if he goes to the body a bit more, I think he can cause more damage.
Hamzah Sheeraz predicted that Bivol would win against Beterbiev by unanimous decision in the main event. He recognized Bivol as a top-level fighter and commended the overall high caliber of the fights on the card. Sheeraz also expressed his appreciation for being part of the event, offering a sincere thank you to His Excellency for the opportunity.
Beterbiev is going to win via unanimous decision, but then again, listen, Bivol's a top fighter, so it's a great, all the fights are great fights, man, so it's just a massive honor to be a part of it, so a massive thank you to His Excellency for giving the opportunity.
Clifton Mitchell shared his thoughts on a recent fight, noting that at first he believed Bivol had won when watching it live. However, after rewatching the fight on TV, he understood why the judges awarded the victory to Beterbiev. Mitchell explained that while Bivol fought well, he appeared unsettled in the ring, with many of his punches being blocked by Beterbiev's hands and gloves. Despite this, Mitchell expressed confidence in Beterbiev's skills and predicted that Beterbiev would prevail in future matchups.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. Me and Scott Walsh are going to go over.
Well, finally, what's your prediction on that?
Beterbiev. When I was there, I thought Bivol won. When I was there watching the fight, I thought he won. I watched it on telly and I can see why they gave it to Beterbiev. Yeah. I can see why they gave it him, but there, because Bivol did it, but he did it like very uncomfortably. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And there, I think he was catching a lot on his hands and his gloves as well. So, yeah, we'll do that after. I'm definitely going back with Beterbiev.
Eddie Hearn stated that the first fight was not only an exciting match, but also incredibly competitive. He mentioned that while some may not view it as controversial, everyone could agree that it was a very close contest. Hearn believes that Dmitry Bivol won the fight and emphasized the importance of settling things in the rematch. He also recognized Artur Beterbiev as a top-tier fighter and expressed confidence that their upcoming rematch will be an epic event.
I mean, it's the only fight. You know, the first fight was not just a great fight, but I mean, if you don't want to call it controversial, you can call it extremely competitive. I mean, for me, Dmitry won that fight, and we need to try and put it right. But Beterbiev's a great fighter, and I think the rematch would be an epic event.
Speaking to former trainer turned pundit Teddy Atlas, broke down the fight and explained why he is again siding with Bivol despite him losing the first fight. He stated, "The reason I picked Bivol to win the first fight, it's the same reason I'm gonna pick him now. Everyone thinks that Beterbiev is the guy that has the upper hand in the mental area because he's so mentally strong and mentally focused, and the other guy, Bivol, is more skillful athletically." He further said, "But Bivol is the guy who's mentally together, who's mentally strong. That guy is mentally strong. That guy is determined. That guy is a monster. I think Bivol is a monster in his mind too. I think he's mentally strong in his mind too, and I think that he's learned things from the last fight." Jose Benavidez Sr. believes the rematch between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev will be as closely contested as their first fight. He feels both fighters gave their all in the initial bout, with their styles complementing each other. Benavidez thinks Bivol's speed, movement, and defensive skills will give him the advantage. He believes Bivol barely won the first fight and can repeat that success, as long as he remains smart and avoids Beterbiev's heavy punches.
Bivol, I think it's going to be kind of the same fight. It's going to be a really close fight. We've seen everything. Both of them were trying to do the best that they could. Both of them, the styles, you know, kind of like work for each other. And I believe in the first fight, Bivol won. I think this fight, Bivol can win again. He's a little bit faster. He has more movement, you know, and Beterbiev, you know, he hits hard. And he's probably waiting for that big shot. And Bivol, hopefully he doesn't stay in front of him and get hit with a big shot. So I think I see the same fight.
Benavidez Sr. recognized that the fight was extremely close and could have easily resulted in a draw. While he respects the judge's decision to give Bivol the win, he personally believes Bivol did just enough to edge out the victory. Looking ahead to the rematch, Benavidez anticipates another tight contest, but is confident that Bivol can emerge victorious once again.
Yeah, Bivol by a little, I think he won by 1 point. Like I said, it was a very close fight. You know, even to me, it could have been a tie, you know, but, you know, they gave it to Beterbiev. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm not a judge, you know, but in my mind, I thought he did enough to just win that fight by a little bit.
Moreover, Teddy Atlas pointed out that both fighters will have picked up plenty from their first contest. He said he got answers to questions that he didn't have the answers to going in. He wasn't 100% sure that he could handle the boogeyman. Nobody's ever sure. Nobody. No matter how you project. And he projected a stoic projection because he is strong mentally, but inside I know he still had to wonder, can I handle the boogeyman? He got the answer. He lastly said now he knows he can be in there with the boogeyman. I think that internally it will make a difference with him, where he'll be more consistent in certain areas, where he may have moved too much and allowed Beterbiev to be able to push him back and steal ends of rounds by keeping him defensive. Now he'll be able to get a good mixture of movement and punching. I will go with Bivol in the rematch. David Benavidez shared his views on the initial bout between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, suggesting that he thought Bivol deserved the win. He admitted it was a close contest, but felt that Bivol controlled most most of the rounds with his sharp combinations. Looking ahead to a possible rematch, Benavidez expressed his belief that Bivol could repeat his success, although he acknowledged both fighters are top tier and might make tactical changes. While he wasn't certain the rematch would play out in the same way, Benavidez was confident Bivol would still emerge victorious if it did.
I thought Bivol won that fight, to be honest with you. It was a close fight. It could have went. Couldn't have went either way. I feel like Bivol won most of the rounds. He controlled most of the rounds, and his combination punching was better.
Do you think he wins the rematch?
I think he does.
Yeah. Is it different, or do you think it's more?
I mean, I don't know, because both those fighters are both high caliber fighters, so they can make adjustments. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be the same fight or not. But if it's the same fight, I feel like Bivol wins.
Canelo Alvarez expressed his enthusiasm for the potential rematch between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, describing it as an incredible fight. He praised both fighters as elite-level talents and believed the rematch would be just as exciting as their first clash. When asked about the possibility of fighting at light heavyweight again, Canelo didn't rule it out, leaving the door open without committing to a definitive answer, suggesting he might consider it in the future.
And just one more from me, Beterbiev-Bivol, the rematch. What a great fight that is in Saudi. How do you see that playing out, Saudi?
It's gonna be a really good fight again. Both are great fighters, and
do you see yourself fighting a light heavyweight again?
Do you think I'm blowing? Maybe.
Let's follow Dr.
Tony Bellew predicted that Bivol would win on points in the rematch. He felt Bivol was the better boxer in their first encounter, but Beterbiev's constant pressure and work rate, especially in the later rounds, gave him the upper hand. Bellew recognized that the fight was very close, saying, "I do think it will be a different outcome with Bivol winning on points. Once again, I thought the first could have gone either way. I thought Bivol was the better boxer on the night, but I thought Beterbiev pressed the whole night and he outpunched him. He just outworked him, and I think the championship rounds in that fight were big." Bellew went on to praise Bivol's boxing abilities, expressing his belief that Bivol would learn from his previous experience. He also mentioned that if Beterbiev were to win again, he might move on to face Jai Opetaia, adding, "I did like Bivol's boxing, so Bivol has shown us he has the ability. I think he'll learn his lesson from the first fight, but if Beterbiev is successful again, then I think he could take on Jai Opetaia." Teofimo Lopez shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, set for February 22nd. He predicted that Beterbiev would win again, but expressed hope that Bivol would perform better in the rematch. Teofimo suggested that Beterbiev could hurt Bivol more this time around, but still acknowledged Bivol's impressive boxing in their first encounter. He noted that while Bivol showed solid technique, he didn't display enough toughness in the later rounds. Teofimo anticipates an exciting matchup overall.
Who you got February 22nd, Bivol or Beterbiev? I think same outcome. Beterbiev, but rooting for Bivol. Hopefully he does better than the first time. If anything, I think Beterbiev is gonna hurt Bivol this time around. But kudos to Bivol, man. He boxed very well, but he just didn't show enough grit in the last championship rounds. It's a great fight.
So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about the rematch in the first fight? Share your thoughts in the comments section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.